According to Packaged Facts, the leading market research company for the packaged food industry, corporate purchases of consumables, so that would be like food, wine, and liquor, the corporate purchases of consumables for gift giving is $7.2 billion a year. Now, interestingly, they say that right here, 43% of food gifters said aesthetically pleasing gifts pre-wrapped in attractive gift packaging is a priority for them. And 56% said that quality is the most important attribute of all. So those are two numbers to remember. And the most popular perishable gifts are cheese packages, chocolate, baked goods, and nuts. So it kind of sounds like Maple Ridge Farms to me. Now, to put these numbers in perspective, for every $10,000 your clients spend on promotional products, they are likely to be spending another $2,500 on food gifts, but maybe not from you. Okay, how to compete with Harry & David, Costco, and other direct sellers. You know, there's nothing I like better than helping a distributor take business away from the food gift giants. It's probably one of the reasons I love coming to work in the morning. And for over 43 years, we've built our business by helping distributors compete against these guys. Now, from Labor Day through December, your clients receive catalogs from Hickory Farms, Harry & David, Mrs. Fields, and all the other giant food gift companies almost every day. Now, with businesses spending, as we saw, over $7 billion a year on food gifts, it's kind of easy to understand why they mail all these catalogs. Now, as a result of their massive marketing efforts, these mail order and internet companies sell about 10 times more food gifts to U.S. businesses a year. 10 times more food gifts to U.S. businesses each year than the entire promotional products industry does. Now, the key to competing with these giant companies is figuring out their weaknesses. It's crucial if you want to increase your sales. So today we're going to share some great case histories, show you how distributors were able to take the business away from these guys. And but just before we do that, we're going to show you a few things about the food gift market, just so you have a flavor of it. According to American Express, half of all business gifts purchased for the holidays are food. Yep, that's half. Great number. Nation's Business Magazine says that food gifts are the best and safest gifts for the holidays because they're something everyone can enjoy and they're usually not too expensive. Counselor Magazine survey of business gift buyers. Now, these were buyers, not sellers, ranked food as the #1 business gift for the holidays. Here, take a good look at that chart. Food really is right up there. Now, 14 months ago, the pandemic changed everything, and it changed the food gift market too. We saw a tremendous shift in our market as companies began sending thousands of gifts to recognize the efforts of employees working from home. So while our business traditionally had been hugely holiday, and it still is, our non-holiday business, January through, say, September, grew incredibly. Next, we started doing gifts for canceled events. People were canceling their holiday parties. Let's send everybody let's send every employee a great upscale food gift. People canceled their company picnics. Let's send everybody a food gift. We actually did that. We canceled our company picnic and we sent everybody a really nice coffee cake and they loved it. although they would have preferred the picnic. But the picnic was not to be. People started doing Zoom meetings. So they're doing online meetings instead of live meetings. Okay, let's send every participant a food gift. So it went on and on and on, and our off-season business just continued to grow. So in 2020, our off-season business, so to speak, non-holiday business, was up 100% over 2019. And this year, it's up another 80%. So it's been kind of good for us. I mean, the pandemic's terrible, but the business cycle has been good for us. Now, we founded Maple Ridge Farms on our kitchen table 43 years ago. And since business gift programs are our only business, we're able to give them our total attention. They're not a sideline for us like they are for so many of the giant companies. And finally, we sell only through distributors. We don't have a mail order division, and your customers cannot purchase gifts on our website. Okay, what we've been waiting for, the case histories. This is one of my favorites. A Missouri distributor had a client who'd been sending tins of peanuts as a holiday gift for many years. When he proposed a switch from their current vendor to Maple Ridge Farms, he ran into some resistance. They were very happy with their current vendor. Now, he wasn't one to be easily deterred, so he ordered a spec sample of our Choice Virginia peanuts in the wooden collector's box. Now, instead of putting their logo on the lid of the box, he sent us a line drawing of their locomotive. Well, the client was really impressed with the line drawing of the locomotive on the wood box. However, remember, they really liked the peanuts that they'd been buying for over a decade. So, to the distributor's surprise, when the client opened the box and tasted the peanuts, he exclaimed, "Hey, Jim, peanuts are great." Well, you know the rest of the story. Jim wrote an order for 500 boxes of peanuts with the help of a spec sample, and he's gotten a reorder every year since then. So today, many distributors use virtual spec samples rather than actual samples. They're free, they're faster to get, they're easy to email, so it's totally understandable. And they are a great, great prospecting tool. But one thing to remember is that a virtual sample cannot be taste tested. And Jim would not have written that order if his client had not tasted the peanuts. That's a big deal. So my feeling is when you have a client who's, really seriously considering placing an order, I would not want to rest on the image on the computer terminal. I would want to put sample in his hands. Our second case history. While presenting holiday gift ideas, a Dallas area distributor discovered that her client was going to order over 200 towers from a well-known food gift company. This was a potential $12,000 order. She quickly explained that she could provide food gifts of far greater value, and her customer was interested and wanted to know more. So the distributor offered to bring in the gift from the giant food gift company, like you see on the screen, and a similarly priced Maple Ridge Farms gift for a real-life, side-by-side comparison. Her customer liked the idea, and when the two gifts arrived, she scheduled her appointment. Together, they opened the box from the giant food gift company. The customer was disappointed in the appearance. If you look at it on the screen, on the left is the way it looked on the website or in the catalog, and on the right is the actual gift as it arrived. I think you can see the difference. Now, most of the food was rather disappointing, not very impressive. Many of the tower boxes, there was more air than food. The box of mixed nuts, wherever that is, just contained like one of those little airline type bags of nuts. The caramel corn only filled half the box. And then kind of an additional killer was that some of the food was actually from China. People don't mind buying promotional products that were made in China, but with all the food safety problems they have over there, there's no way they want food from China in their holiday gifts. Now, none of our food's imported from China. And by the way, our facility is regulated by the FDA, which is the gold standard for food safety. Okay, next came the carton from Maple Ridge Farms. Now, while the tower was not as large as the one from the mail order company, it looked better in real life than it did in our catalog. And each box was filled to the brim with premium chocolates and fresh roasted nuts. Now, together, the distributor and her customer taste tested the food from each gift, and the Maple Ridge Farms tower won hands down. So this distributor was rewarded with a $12,000 order for going the extra mile to demonstrate the difference in quality. Now, even better than a random sample, how about using a spec sample? A Texas distributor learned that his client was planning to order their holiday food gifts from one of the largest mail order internet food gift companies in America. They had selected a $60 cheese package that you can see on the screen that included a mediocre cutting board with some rather useless serving accessories. Now, to dramatically show the difference, he ordered a gift from the mail order company and a spec sample of the Wisconsin Variety package that you can see on the screen. When both gifts arrived, just like the Texas distributor, he headed over to see his client. After tasting the food from both gifts, seeing the difference in the quality of the cutting boards and how impressive their logo looked on the board, he wrote the order. So he wrote an order for 150 cheese packages, and if my math is correct, that's about an $8,700 order. So how about Costco and those people? When you're in the middle of presenting a food gift program and the client says, I can buy these gifts cheaper at Costco, Sam's Club, or Walmart, you want to be ready to respond. So today we're going to show you some ways to overcome that objection. So what do you say when the client says, I can buy food gifts just like what you're showing me for a lot less at Costco or Sam's Club? Your immediate response should be, wait a minute. Yes, you can buy food gifts from a mass merchandiser, but you can't buy food gifts like these from a mass merchandiser. And before you head off to Costco, Sam's, or Walmart, there are a number of important issues you need to consider. Their gifts will not have your logo on them. The gifts I show will have your logo and will help build your brand. And many of them include a durable item like a cutting board or wooden collector's box that will stick around after the food has been enjoyed. The mass merchandisers offer gifts that were made up many months ago, and for that reason, they're not very fresh and delicious. Gifts that I'm proposing are packed just to order right before your order is shipped, so they are fresh and delicious. Most gifts from the mass merchandisers do not include mailing cartons. So if you want to ship the gifts to your customers or employees, you're going to have to round up mailing cartons that are the right size. Our gifts are packed in perfectly sized mailing cartons. And mass merchandisers won't ship directly to your recipients. So you'll have to drag the gifts. Just imagine dragging 200 gifts from Costco back to your office, finding the right size mailing cartons, and then having to process through your UPS or FedEx system. That usually makes your shipping people really happy. And finally, with Maple Ridge, if you have a client who's looking at ordering 100 or 200 gifts, and they like the gift, but they see something they'd like to change. Maybe instead of deluxe mixed nuts, they'd like to put in chocolate almonds, or maybe instead of pecan turtles, they'd like to put in English butter toffee. We do that. We do that all the time. I guarantee that if you go into Costco and look at a gift and say, you know, I really like that gift, and I do want to order 200 of these, but can you change 2 of those components to 2 different components? They're not going to do it. So that's another advantage of buying from you. And finally, and this could be most important, people today aren't stupid. They can tell where those gifts came from. So when you send gifts from Walmart or and the like to your best customers and most valued employees, the message it sends is, I had to send you a gift, so I went out and bought the cheapest gift I could find. Maybe not the message your client would have had in mind. Recently, I was speaking to a group of end buyers, and I asked them which they would prefer to receive. A package like you see on the right that contains, and it, you know, size comparison on the screen is not quite right. The tin is much bigger than that wood box. But I asked them which they would prefer to receive. A package with 36 pieces of our famous English butter toffee, or a giant tin of caramel corn from one of the mass merchandisers. Well, their answer was unanimous. They wanted the English butter toffee. So the next step is to ask your client about budget. How much were you intending to spend on gifts for your best customers and employees? Clients will usually have an answer. Let's just say $30 to $40. So you begin showing the client high quality gifts in that price range. Now you may want to remind your client of what I learned from speaking to those end buyers, that most people would rather receive a small box of premium chocolate than a large tin of caramel corn that they saw at the mass merchandise store. Okay, so let's say you've got a client who's really cheap and he doesn't care. And there are people out there like that. Let's try another way of responding. It's time to visit the Maple Ridge Farms website. Now, on the home page of our website, which you'll see later, there's a button for the sales section. If you need to play the price game, you can play it too. So in the sales section, gifts are priced at up to 40% off. So if you have somebody who's really cheap, sometimes that's where to go. And they're still the freshest and finest gifts, but they're packed in containers that are soon to be discontinued. So we offer these things at clearance prices. And the good news is you still make a good profit because all the gifts in the sales section are still on a C commission. So as you can see, there's 2 ways to overcome the I can buy it cheaper objection. A, using your persuasive sales skills, and B, the Maple Ridge Farm sales section. I missed a slide. There's where you find, sorry about that. There's where you find the sale items on our website. Okay, today it seems like everyone is into brand building, so it's important to remind your clients that because the gifts you provide have their logo on them, they help promote their company and build their brand. And as I said earlier, many of our gifts include a durable item like a cutting board, collector's box, or wooden truck, or pencil cup that will generate goodwill long after the food has been enjoyed. Now, so you can see that, you know, there's the logo here, there's the logo on the board, logo on the ribbon. Essentially, every one of our gifts is branded with your company or your client's logo. Now, the food gift companies love to include their logo on their gifts. Take a look at these gifts. They're slathered with their logo. I mean, the Godiva logo is there, on the ribbon, on that box. Mrs. Fields' logo, you probably couldn't make it much bigger if you wanted to. So you have to ask, you know, does your client really want to spend their money hundreds or thousands of dollars to promote the food gift company's brand instead of their own? Probably not. But unless you help them understand, they're not going to realize that. This is probably one of my favorites and something that really irritates me. I receive gifts from the giant food gift companies frequently. And virtually every one contains promotional literature, a catalog from the food gift company. Here's a picture on the screen of a gift that I received from a business associate. There's a catalog in the gift, and then there's 2 special offer coupons, one for $5 off and one for $10 off. Kind of tacky. Now, you really can't blame the food gift companies because they're using your gifts to promote their business for free. But I still think it's kind of tacky. But we will never, ever put our catalog or promotional literature in your client's gifts. The only thing we'll put in your client's gifts are whatever you tell us to put in. So if you want to send us something to put in, we'll do it. Now just look at this comparison chart, because I think there's a tendency for those of us in this industry to feel like, oh my gosh, how do we compete with these big guys? How do I compete with Harry and David and Sam's Club and Costco and Mrs. Fields? They're just too big. Well, here's why you can compete. First of all, you offer personal service. I mean, you will, the biggest thing I said, you'll handle the whole thing for them. You're going to make it easy for them. Everybody likes to make things easy. You will handle the whole program for them. You offer gifts that are fresh, packed to order, not made up 4, 5, 6 months in advance and sitting in a warehouse and then sitting on, maybe on a retailer shelf. You offer imprinted gifts and blank gifts if they want them. You offer custom packages. We talked about the Costco thing. We will do a custom package. I mean, we're not going to do a custom package for one, but anytime you're talking probably 100 units or more, we are really into doing custom packages. You offer individual shipment directly to every customer or to the home of every employee. Free card enclosure if you provide the cards. We sell cards too, and we sell a lot of them, but we do free card enclosure if you provide them. A 100% money back guarantee. So, you look down here, they got a lot of blank spots here. I think you're pretty competitive. Unfortunately, these giant guys have something that you don't have. And that is their massive marketing prowess. Because of all the millions of dollars they spend in advertising and all of the millions of catalogs they mail, every business person knows that they can purchase their holiday food gifts from Harry and David, Hickory Farms, Mrs. Fields, Sam's, Costco, and the rest. But the vast majority of business gift buyers have no idea they can purchase food gifts from distributors. That's a problem. So what happens is they buy their promotional products from you, and then they go back to these guys for their food gifts. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's a problem. So you need to be proactive and make your clients aware that you are their best source for holiday food gift programs. Not Harry and David, not Hickory Farms, not Sam's Club, and not Costco. And remember, all these people do business gift programs as a sideline. For us, that's all we do. Okay, here's some quick tips to help you market food gift programs this year. Call or email every one of your clients. Ask if they or anyone else in their company purchases food gifts for the holidays, and explain to them that you can provide a more cost-effective and a more easy program than they would ever get from a mail order company internet provider or retail store. And then get catalogs in their hands. This sounds old-fashioned, but the food gift companies have trained buyers to look through catalogs and kind of browse, so to speak, and pick out their gifts. You know, a funny story. Every few years, we survey new customers of ours. And in the survey, we ask them, well, what do you, which of our marketing tools did you use to write this nice order or these nice orders? Did you use spec samples? Did you use random samples? Did you use tasting samples? Did you use our digital tools? And this may sound crazy. The number one answer we get is, well, I gave my client a copy of your catalog and asked them to look through it for holiday gift ideas. So I guess catalogs aren't quite as old-fashioned as we thought they were. So the bottom line is you need to be proactive because your clients don't know they can buy food gifts from you. Don't wait for them to ask you for food gifts because they probably won't. Let's look at 5 questions that you can ask your client to shorten the sales process. Our first question, by the way, does your company purchase food gifts for the holidays? Many years ago, when I was first in the business, a veteran distributor explained to me that food gifts were the easiest add-on sale there is. Just like McDonald's generates millions of dollars in sales by saying, would you like fries with that? You can generate thousands of dollars in sales by saying, by the way, does your company purchase food gifts for the holidays? You can actually see, I have a little sticker kind of like this on my monitor. A distributor sent me an email describing how she put a Post-it note, like the one you see here, on her computer monitor to remind herself to ask, when she was on the phone with a client, to remind herself to ask if they purchased food gifts. Great idea. I have one on my monitor here. It says, do you have any other projects for me to quote on? To remind myself when I'm talking to a distributor to look for some other opportunities. Our second question. Do you want a gift that includes an item that's going to be retained, like a cutting board, pencil cup, wooden box? Many clients do, some don't. But asking this question gets you started down the right path and lets you know what kind of gifts you should be showing to them. And remember, because 90% of business food gifts are still purchased from retail or mail order companies or internet companies, most clients are not aware that they can purchase gifts like this cheese package on this wonderful cutting board, nuts and chocolate with the truck, this desk accessory. So this is still kind of new stuff to them. Now, before suggesting a specific gift, ask about a client's budget per gift. There's no point in showing customers $100 gifts if their budget's $25, and vice versa. So asking about the budget shortens your sales process. Are the gifts for individuals or entire offices or both? Over 20 years, we saw a shift to more and more companies buying larger gifts to be shared by everyone in the office. Then the pandemic caused a shift back to gifts to being shipped to individuals at their homes. Now last year, and so far this year, we're seeing a combination of both. There are gifts there are larger gifts going to offices and gifts that, to be shared by everybody in the office. And there are gifts that aren't quite so large going to the home to be shared by everybody in the home. Now, don't forget to let your clients know that you can provide individual shipment directly to the home of each recipient and even enclose a card. With food gifts, this is a very, very popular service, and many clients are not aware that you can provide it. Half the gifts we produce are shipped directly to the recipient. So I guess that tells you how popular that is. I learned this from a distributor friend of mine in California. If your client purchased food gifts from some other source last year, ask them to tell you about last year's program. What did they like about it, and what didn't they like? Were there any problems? If there were problems, you want them to be reminded of them. And also, that information will help you develop a better program for them this year. A couple years ago, I was working with a lady, actually in California, and she had a customer that she was talking to about a holiday gift program. The prior year, they ordered, 400 gifts. And for some reason, they anticipated that those gifts were going to be gift wrapped. Don't know if that was, if they were misled or if it was just misperception, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. That was the pain point. That's what went wrong with last year's program. Having learned that information, I'm going to just bounce back here a little farther. She suggested that they use one of our towers like you see here on the screen, because everything is gift wrapped. You pull this thing out of the box and it's ready to hand to the recipient. So she showed them a way to fix the problem that they had the year before. And of course, she sold 400 towers. Not a bad move there. So it's pretty simple. Ask these 5 simple questions, and you'll be well on your way to writing some great food gift business. Okay, we would like to take a second, if I'm not too technically challenged, and show you a few things about our website. And first of all, if you look at this top bar here, you're going to see a lot of things that are really nice. You can browse by price. You can find new items. You can see the sales section right there that we talked about. This is our give back program. These are working from home gifts, kitting. We do a lot of kitting. We've been doing kitting for 40 years. We just never called it kitting. Our quick ship program, we always have a handful of items with free shipping, about us, all that stuff. But I want to show you something with this in here. Let's go to categories. Oops. I guess I have to go to the website first, right? That looked like the website to me. Okay, categories. So we've got the working from home, cheese assortments. Our cheese assortments are so hot. We sold 150% more cheese last year than we did the year before. And this week, in a 24-hour period, we had $50,000 in orders for cheese packages. I mean, 13 years ago, and Joel's coming to help me. I made a mistake. Okay, now, so I came to this categories thing, and we came to the cheese assortments. And then I came here and I sorted high to low because I like the high price ones better. But what I was saying is, last year our cheese, 13 years ago, we started in the cheese business 43 years ago. That's all we sold. 13 years ago, we almost got out of the cheese business because it was such a small percentage of our sales. So people ask me, when I tell them that our cheese sales were up 150% last year, they go, what did you do right? I go, so what I did right was 13 years ago when I was going to get out of the cheese business, I decided not to. So you're here, I mean, you can see from a $250 super high-end cheese package, and this is sorted all by price. We go down to, I think our lowest price one is $28.95 on a C. Okay. And all of our cheese packages come with really nice cutting boards that have your client's logo on them. I want to show you another. So you've got all these different categories here, but I want to show you cookies and cakes. So let's go down. Let's go high first. And let's look at this gourmet crate. Say you're looking at this and you think, this might be a great gift for one of my clients. Well, you can just go right here and email a sales flyer to them. And you fill in your email address, your name. I always have it send me a copy. I use this personally when for distributors. For your client's email address, we have some boilerplate copy here. You can replace that if you want. And then a message. I guess you have to say you're not a robot. And then you click send. So what your client gets is an email with the message from you and an attachment like this, which has got all the details of the cookie crate. So, you can do it in just seconds, and people use it. So, great tool. Just like clients will rarely buy a $75 polo shirt without touching and seeing and feeling it, most clients won't spend thousands of dollars on a food gift program with knowing how the food tastes and how it's packaged. Not if they're smart. And remember, great food generates enthusiasm, and enthusiasm generates orders. So let's talk about sampling options. And my favorite is the spec sample. They're great because the client can see, first, if we ship the spec sample directly to your client, the client can see how it's packaged. They open the carton, and then they can see the gift packaging and how the ribbon looks and how their logo looks on it. And then finally, they can open it up and find out how everything tastes. To me, it's the perfect tool for closing a sale. Now, we do spec samples at 50% off EQP through the end of October. And when you write the order, when you actually get the real order, not the spec sample order, but a real order, you can send along a copy of the spec sample invoice, and we'll give you full credit for the cost of the spec sample minus the shipping charges. Now, a tremendous service we offer is shipping spec samples directly to your clients. And we'll even put in a note card like this from you at no extra charge. So I'm a huge believer in spec samples. Biggest thing is you want to have the client pretty darn well qualified before you choose the spec. In other words, don't send them a spec of a cheese and sausage package if they're thinking about buying a nuts and chocolate package. Or don't send them a spec of a $100 gift if their budget's $25. So have them pretty well qualified before you spend the money on a spec sample. Now, random samples offer almost exactly the same benefits, but the clients aren't going to see what their logo looks like on the gift. However, if you're in a big hurry, don't have time to wait for a spec, because obviously, if we're going to ship a spec, we have to get the artwork from you, we have to make a die and then produce it, whereas, if you order early in the day, we can ship a random sample the same day, or the next day at worst. They're also 50% off EQP. We'll still ship it directly to your client and include the card. Okay, I was one slide behind today. Sorry about that. But anyway, you can see the random samples here, and you can see the card. This is our Taste of Success program, and this expires pretty quickly, so you have to take advantage of it. So what we do, we have a nice gift box like you see here. We print your logo on it. You get to choose between extra fancy cashews, coconut praline pecans, or Jelly Belly brand jelly beans. Now, people always say, well, why can't you ship pecan turtles or chocolate almonds or English toffee if that's what you sell the most of? Well, problem is we're shipping these in September, and in September, toffee, chocolate almonds, pecan turtles will melt. So we pick out items that are sort of bulletproof for shipping in September. Okay, so we're going to put one of these three in this gift, and we're going to put a nice little lookbook in there that describes the benefits of buying from you and shows them the breadth of our product line, so that you not only have small gifts like you see here, but you have big gifts also. We're going to put your business card in there. And then we're going to mail these to 20 clients. You're going to provide us with a mailing list. And we're going to ship them by first-class mail. Your cost is $9.95 or $10 a piece, including first-class mail postage. It's a good deal. We lose money on every one of these, but we hope like heck we're going to get an order. So when Joelle sends you the follow-up information today, there's going to be a lot more information on this, you know, how to send us your list, where to send your cards, and there's even a short video to make up for everything I left off. But we've been doing this program for, I don't know, 15 or 20 years, and the amount of business that it's brought in has been incredible. And nowadays, when it's harder to see clients, you know, sending the gift with your business card, with the little lookbook, and then following up. You know, when we talk to people who have success, with this program, and we talk to people who say, "Oh, I didn't get anything out of it." There's one common thread between the people who didn't get anything out of it. We usually ask them, "Did you ever follow up?" "Oh, no, I didn't have time to follow up." Okay. Somebody told me follow up is a F word or something like that. I don't know. Remember that approximately 50% of all businesses purchase food gifts for the holidays. That's a big number. And it's probably just too big a market to overlook. So if you want to increase your fourth quarter sales, your mission must be to make every one of your customers aware that you are their best source for food gift programs. Now, if you've got any questions about what we talked about today, or ever need help securing an order, or just have a question about a product or a question about a service, simply contact a member of our sales team at 800-477-5577 or hello@mapleridge.com. They will be thrilled to work with you. These people live and breathe the food gift business. So, and they can really help you when it comes to writing orders. So, I want to thank you for joining us today. And Joelle, do we have any questions from the group?
Thank you, Tom, and great presentation. I know there was a lot of information, but we will be following up shortly with an email. Besides that, there's no questions, but we're standing by if you need any help with marketing, social media, videos, whatever it is, we're willing to assist you. So thank you for attending.
Okay, thanks, Joelle. And we have these promo codes on the screen, but again, Joelle's going to send you all that stuff later today. So thank you and have a great day and have a great upcoming weekend.